Hey, Coffee Dude 65, it's Buddha Jim, and I wanted to respond to your video. I did a similar video in response to Citizen Kong, and it's this notion that voting is going to change things. I really need to put together, a well thought out video, not just a response. But in lieu of that, I just want to. I've got to ask you, what's it going to take for you to realize that voting for one of these candidates is not going to change things? You've had to have seen it in your life over and over and over again. You know, the hope that comes with some new candidate, a Bill Clinton, replacing a, Bush 41, and then the reality of, ramming NAFTA down our throats, illegally bombing and attacking Yugoslavia, Iraq, Sudan. The list goes on and on. That the decision to push for regime change in Iraq began with the Clintons. The illegal no-fly zone, the bombing activities, the deceptive use of UN inspectors. Really, what they were doing was, relaying information that was, to help aid U.S. In their bombing campaigns, like Operation Desert Fox. And we can just go on down through the line, but you've got two candidates right now you're talking about in the Democratic Party. Neither one of them is going to end the war in Iraq. Neither one of them has a real serious single-payer health care plan that Americans want, some type of universal health care plan. They ignore what we want. And then, and then you talk about the fighting, but really, democracy should be about that. We shouldn't all be, there's 300 million of us, plus, we shouldn't all be walking in lockstep with one person or two people. Those two or three candidates cannot possibly represent the dreams, aspirations, ideas, wants, needs of 300 million people. They can't and they don't. That's not what the president was designed for. But what is it going to take for you to understand that that's not how change happens? We don't change things by voting in the right candidate. First of all, we don't even get to vote in the right candidate. As you know, and I'm sure you're quite aware of this, it's a choice between the lesser of two evils, and as long as we continue to vote, we continue to vote for evil. Barack Obama doesn't represent change any more than McCain does. They represent different factions within the ruling class. That's what they represent. They don't represent you. They don't represent me. They represent people with last names like Rockefeller, DuPont, Morgan, Chase, Mellon, Gates, Walton. They don't represent us. But that doesn't mean that change is out of the question. We look back at our ancestors, and women didn't vote for the right to vote. They fought for it out in the streets, all kinds of different ways: organized, educate, agitate. The recipe for change hasn't changed. It's still the same, and it still happens out in the streets. And I think when we get past this notion of voting, we'll be in a better position, because we need people like you and others who are actively pursuing and working for campaigns for Barack Obama or Hillary Clinton. We need people like you. We need people like you organizing for something that's really going to make a difference. And to get there, though, I think we really have to put this whole election sham behind us. It's not going to change things. Barack Obama, come in January, he's not going to end the war in Iraq. Neither will Hillary, neither will John McCain. They can't. It's not how the system's designed. And let's not forget that we don't even vote for president. How about that for a starter? Let's be a little realistic here. they have an electoral college that votes for the president. So think of how far removed you are even from the actual process of deciding who will get to make decisions for you. I don't want a president. I don't want a Barack Obama. I don't want a Hillary Clinton. I don't want a Ron Paul. I don't even want a Ralph Nader as president. They're going to pick somebody. You can guarantee that. If the last 2 presidential elections are any indicator, it won't be a fair election. We can only guess at how it'll turn out. You seem to be convinced that McCain's going to win. But I'm here to tell you it's not going to matter. What's going to matter is how many people we can mobilize to take to the streets in various actions. We're going to have to ramp it up. We need civil disobedience. We need everything every tool in the toolbox. Like Malcolm said, by any means necessary. And it's just as true today as it was when he first echoed those wise words. Really, I guess I'd like you to answer, what would it take for you to come to an understanding that the electoral process doesn't work? And I'll leave you with that. Thanks, Coffee Dude. Peace.